Good afternoon, all. Welcome to the lecture of number theory. Screen is visible.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So in last lecture, we have seen some results, that is some properties depending on the definition of GCD and LCM. Okay. So today we will solve some examples. First one, find the GCD of find the GCD of 56 and 72. Find the GCD of 56 and 72 and express that GCD and express GCD as a linear combination of 56 and 72. Linear combination of 56 and 72. Yes. How to find out the GCD of 56 and 72? By which method? Yes, GCD कैसे find out करना? By division algorithm or Euclid's algorithm? Yes,
Euclid's algorithm.
Euclid's algorithm, that is 72, can be written as 56 into 1 plus, what should be the remainder whenever we will divide 72 by 56?
16.
16. Now we have to write 56, which is equal to 16 into 3 plus, what should be the remainder? 16 into 3 will be 48. 56 minus 48 will be
8.
8. Now we have to write this 16 as a multiple of 8. 8 into 2 will be 16 and remainder will be 0. So what should be the GCD of 56 and 72?
8.
Which is equal to 8. So first we have to find out the GCD of 56 and 72, and now we have to express that GCD 8 as a linear combination of 56 and 72. Just we have to write these steps by outside. That is, as 8 is the GCD, then by the second step, what it should be the value of 8? 56 minus 16 into 3. Now, from first one, we will get the value of 16. So it is nothing but 56 minus 3 times of 16. 16 will be 72 minus 56. Okay, so which is equal to 56 minus of 3 times of 72 and minus of minus plus, how many times of 56? 3 times of 56. 1 times 56 plus 3 times 56. It is nothing but 4 times of 56 minus 3 times of 72. That is, it can be written as 56 into 4 plus 72 into minus of 3. So it is nothing but 56 into 4 plus 72 into minus 3. So it is nothing but 56x plus 72y. So what are the values of x and y? X is 4 and y is minus of 3. Okay. Now next, find the GCD of, same we have to do. Here again we have to find out the GCD of 199 272 and express it as a linear combination of 119 and 272. So second one, GCD of 119 and 270. Yes, how to find out the GCD? 272 is equal to 119 into how many? How much? 119 into 2 will be 238. So 2 plus, what should be the remainder? 272 minus 238.
34.
34. So 119 can be written as 34 into 3 is nothing but 102. plus, what should be the remainder? 119 minus 102.
70.
70. And 34 can be written as 17 into 2, which is 34, plus remainder will be 0. Which implies what should be the GCD?
70.
Which is 17. Now we have to express this GCD 17 as a linear combination of 119 and 272, which implies 17 can be written as 119 minus of 34 into 3, which is nothing but 119 minus of 3 times. What should be the value of 34? 272 minus 119 into 2, which is equal to 119 minus of 3 times of 272 minus of minus plus 6 times of 119. So which is equal to 1 times of 119 plus 6 times of 119, which is 7 times 119 plus minus of 3 times 272, which is nothing but ax plus by, that is 119x plus 272y. So what should be the value of x?
7.
7, and y will be minus of 3. Now, in previous lecture, I think I have given one example for homework. That is, we have to find out the LCM of 119 and 272. How should we find out the LCM of 119 and 272? Here we have to use the result. That is, GCD of AB into LCM of AB is equal to A into B. So what should be the LCM of this one? That is, the LCM is nothing but A into B divided by GCD. So it is nothing but 119 into 272 divided by GCD of 119 and 272. So which is nothing but 119 into 272 divided by, what should be the GCD of 119 and 272? Which is 70. What should be its value? So 17 into 7. What should be the value of 7 into 272? 1904. So LCM of 119 and 272 will be 1904. Okay. Now let's take one another example. Third one. Find the GCD of 256 and 1166. Find GCD of this one and express GCD as linear combination of 256 and 1166. Yes, tell me the GCD of this one. Yes, what is the GCD? Yes, how to write 1166? Yes, सांगते का कोणी? We have to write 1166 as a multiple of 256. 256 into how many plus some remainder?
4.
256 into 4. What should be its value? 1024 something. So what should be the remainder?
142.
142. Now we have to write 256 as a multiple of 142. 142, 142, it is nothing but something 284. So 142 into 1 plus, what should be the remainder? 256 minus 142. Now I have to write 142 as a multiple of 114 into 1. 142 minus 114. What should be the remainder?
28. 28.
28. So 114 can be written as 28 into, yes, 28 into 4. What should be 28 into 4? 112 plus 2 will be the remainder. Now we have to write 22 as a multiple of 2. 2 into 14 plus 0. So what is the GCD of 256 and 1166? Yes, what is the GCD?
2.
Which is 2. So here we will get the value of D. Now we have to express that GCD as a linear combination of 256 and 1166. Now 2 can be written as 114 minus of 28 into 4, which can be written as 114 minus, what should be the value of 28? 4 into 28 is nothing but 142 minus of 114 into 1, that is 114, which is equal to 114 minus of 4 times of 142 minus of minus plus 4 times of 114, which is equal to 4 times 114 plus 114, which is 5 times of 114 minus of 4 times of 142. Again, we have the value of 114 is here. 114 is 256 minus 142. 140 is 256 minus 142 minus of 4 times of 142, which is equal to 5 times of 256 minus 5 times of 142 minus of 4 times of 142, which is equal to 5 times of 256 minus of 5 minus of 4 minus of 9 times of 142. Okay. Now this will be 2. Now next, what should be the value here? 142. 142 is nothing but 1166 minus 256 into 4, which is equal to 5 times 256 minus of 9 into 1166 minus 256 into 4. It can be written as 5 times of 256 minus of 9 times of 1166 minus of minus plus 36 times of 256. 36 times 256 plus 5 times 256, it is 36 plus 5, 41 times of 256 minus of 9 times of 1166, that is, it is nothing but 41 times 256 plus minus of 9 times of 1166. So 2 is nothing but 256x plus 1166y, which implies what should be the value of x here?
41.
41, and y is equal to minus of 9. So in this way we can find out the GCD and express that GCD as a linear combination of A and B. Okay. Now the next concept is nothing but the linear Diophantine equation. Linear Diophantine equation. See what is a linear Diophantine equation first. Okay. An equation which has one or more unknowns and which can be solved for integers is called as a Diophantine equation. Okay. An equation which has one or more unknowns and which can be solved for integers, it means its solution will be integer, which can be solved for integers, is called a Diophantine equation. Diophantine equation. Okay, so a equation which has one or more number of unknowns and having solution is nothing but set of integer is called as a Diophantine equation. That is the equation which can be solved for the integer is called as a Diophantine equations. But this equation may be of any degree, of any degree and any number of unknowns, and any number of unknowns. But we are interested in, that is here we have to study, interested in the linear Diophantine equation of the type Diophantine equation of the form ax plus by is equal to c, where a is not equal to 0, b is not equal to 0, and c is any integer. C is any integer. So here we have to study such type of Diophantine equation. That is, here there are two unknowns x and y and three constants a, b, c. And such type of equation is called as a linear Diophantine equation. It is called linear since its degree will be 1. Okay. Now, any pair of integers x and y, or x naught and y naught, which satisfy the equation ax plus by equal to c. It means whenever we put the value of x as x naught and y as y naught, then ax naught plus by naught will be equal to c. Then such pair of integers x naught and y naught are called as a solution of that equation. It's called solution of that equation. Okay, so any pair of integers x naught and y naught which satisfy the equation ax naught plus by naught is equal to c is called as a solution of that equation. Now, if all the integers a equal to 0, b equal to 0 and c equal to 0, then how many solutions are possible for given linear Diophantine equation? Yes, एखादा पेयर एक्स वाय हा माझा सोल्युशन कधी होतो, जर मी एक्स आणि वाय ची व्हॅल्यू जर इथं पुट केली तर हा ax प्लस बी वाय माझा सी आला पाहिजे. पण जर समजा ax प्लस बी वाय इक्वल टू सी ही मला सॅटिस्फाय करायचं आहे आणि यामध्ये ऑलरेडी माझा a 0 आहे, b 0 आहे आणि c 0 आहे, म्हणजे माझा RHS 0 आहे. LHS ची व्हॅल्यू a ची 0 आहे, b ची 0 आहे. a 0 into x 0, 0 into y always 0, so it is again 0. म्हणजे माझा LHS ही 0 ऑलवेज येईल, RHS ही ऑलवेज 0 येईल. मग मी कोणते काय x आणखीन y घेईना, हे इक्वेशन ऑलवेज सॅटिस्फाय होईल माझा.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so any pair of integers x and y satisfy that equation. So whenever a equal to 0, b equal to 0 and c equal to 0, then every pair of integers x and y is a solution of that equation, is a solution of linear Diophantine equation. But whenever a is 0, if a is 0 and b is 0 but c is not equal to 0. Okay, so whenever we have the value a equal to 0, b equal to 0 and c is not equal to 0, in ax plus by will be equal to c. So c is not equal to 0. What should be the values of a and b? A is 0, 0 into x 0 plus 0 into y 0. So what should be LHS? LHS is always equal to 0. Whether it is possible that 0 is not equal to 0. LHS is 0 and RHS value is non-zero. So whether it is possible that 0 is equal to some non-zero integer 1. Whatever will be the value of c. Here I have taken some particular value 1, whether 0 is equal to 1. ए आणखीन बी चे व्हॅल्यू मला 0 घ्यायचे आहेत, आणखीन सी हा माझा नॉन झिरो आहे. ए आणि बी चे 0 व्हॅल्यू जर 0 घेतले तर एलएचएस माझा ऑलवेज 0 येईल. What about RHS? RHS is always not equal to 0 since here we have taken C as a non-zero integer. So whether it is possible that an integer 0 is equal to some non-zero integer. Yes. Whether it is possible, whether 0 is equal to some non-zero integer. Since C is an integer.
No solution.
This one is not possible. So in that case, that Diophantine equation has no solution. Then Diophantine equation has no solution. Okay. Now we will see one theorem in which it is clear that when the linear Diophantine equation has a solution. Yes. Any doubt in the definition of linear Diophantine equation? आतापर्यंत जे बघितलं Diophantine equation बद्दल त्यामध्ये कोणाला काही डाऊट असेल तर सांगा, जर नसेल तर आपण थेरम बघू. आहे का? बोलायला नको वाटतंय का तुम्हाला? Yes. So the linear Diophantine equation ax plus by equal to c forms a solution if and only if d divides an integer c where d is nothing but the GCD of two integers a and b. Okay, so this will be the theorem and we have to prove this one. The linear Diophantine equation ax plus by is equal to c has a solution or it forms a solution if and only if d divides c where d is the GCD of ab. It means the linear Diophantine equation has a solution. It implies that GCD of ab must divide c, and whenever GCD of ab divides c, then the corresponding linear Diophantine equation have a solution. Okay, so the proof we have to see in two parts as it is if and only if statement. So first case we will assume that, so first only if part. So in that case we will take the linear Diophantine equation as a solution. So let the linear Diophantine equation ax plus by equal to c has a solution, and let the pair is nothing but some x naught and y naught. So ax naught plus by naught is equal to c since it has a solution. And now we have to prove that whenever d is the GCD of ab, then d must divide c. So as d is nothing but the GCD of ab, and we have to prove that this GCD must divide c. As d is the GCD of ab, which implies that b must divide a and it divides b also. As it divides a and b, then by the definition of divisibility, there exist integers r and s such that a can be written as d into r and b can be written as d into s, where these integers and r and s are relatively prime. Now put the value of a and b. Put the value of a and b in equation number 1. We get, what should be the value of a? dr into x naught plus b value ds into y naught, and which is equal to c. So it is nothing but d common r x naught plus s y naught, and which is equal to c. Now as this c is a multiple of d, r x naught plus s y naught must be an integer. Since r s x naught y naught are the integers, then its linear combination is again an integer. As c is a multiple of d, then by the definition of divisibility, d must divide and C, and that is we have to prove, and hence the proof. So only part is proved. Now we have to prove the if part. We have to take D divides C, where D is the GCD of AB, and we have to prove that the linear Diophantine equation has a solution. So given that D divides an integer C. Okay, as D divides C, then by the definition of divisibility, there exists an integer small t such that C is nothing but a multiple of D into T. Now to prove that linear Diophantine equation has a solution, linear Diophantine equation has a solution as GCD of AB is D. Okay, at GCD of AB is D, then we can express this GCD as a linear combination of A and B, which implies there exists some integers x0 and y0 such that ax0 plus by0 is nothing but t. Since whenever D is the GCD of AB, then there is one property of GCD that in that D can be expressed as a linear combination of A and B, as where x0 and y0 are some suitable integers. X0 and y0 are suitable integers. Now multiply both sides of this equation star by t, we get, which implies ax0 t plus by0 into t equal to dt. Okay, so what should be the value of dt from equation number is 2c. So c is nothing but atx0 plus bty. Okay, so here c can be written as ax0, sorry, a into tx0 plus b into ty0, and which is equal to c, which implies a into some k1 plus b into k2 is equal to c. So here we get k1 and k2 are any two integers, since tx0 is an integer and ty0 is integer. So a k1 plus b k2 is equal to c. It means that an ordered pair k1 k2 will be the solution of given linear Diophantine equation. Instead of k1 k2 we can take x also, ax plus by equal to c. So the Diophantine equation has a solution. Diophantine equation has a solution where value of x is nothing but t into x0 and value of y is nothing but t into y, and hence the, okay. So whenever ax plus by equal to c is a linear Diophantine equation, then it has a solution if and only if the GCD of AB divides an integer c. Yes, up to now, any doubt? Okay. Now next result. The linear Diophantine equation, the linear Diophantine equation ax plus by equal to c has a solution if and only if d divides c, where d is the GCD of two integers a and b, and if x0 and y0 be any particular solution of any particular solution of the Diophantine equation ax plus by equal to c, then all the other solutions are all the other solutions are given in the form x dash as x naught plus b upon d into t and y dash as y naught minus a upon d into t, where t is any arbitrary integer, where small t is any arbitrary integer. Okay, so here the linear Diophantine equation ax plus by equal to c has a solution if and only if d divides c, where d is the GCD of AB, and that one we have already proved in the previous theorem. And in this theorem, we have to prove that whenever x naught y naught be any particular solution of the Diophantine equation ax plus by equal to c, as from this one the given linear Diophantine equation has a solution, then we have taken particularly x naught y naught will be the particular solution. And whenever x naught y naught will be the particular solution, then from that one we have to prove that all the remaining solutions are in the form of this one. That is, x dash is nothing but x naught plus b upon d into t, and y dash is equal to y naught minus a upon d into t, where t is any arbitrary integer. That is, it means it is belonging to set of integers. Okay, so here we have to establish the second part only, since first part we have already proved in the first theorem. So prove to establish the second part. Okay, and we have to suppose that, let us suppose that x naught y naught be the particular solution, of ax plus by is equal to c, as x naught y naught is a particular solution of this one. Whenever we will put the value of x as x naught and y is y naught, then it satisfies this equation, which implies ax naught plus by naught is nothing but c, and take this one as equation number 1. Okay, now we will take one more pair of integers. Let x dash and y dash be any other solution of the given linear Diophantine equation, any other solution of ax plus by is equal to c, which implies ax dash plus by dash is equal to c. So here we have taken two solutions of the given linear Diophantine equation. First one is nothing but x naught y naught, and second pair is nothing but x dash y dash. But as in equation 1 and 2, the right hand side must be same. As the right hand side must be same, it implies that LHS is also same, which implies ax naught plus by naught from equation 1 and 2, ax naught plus by naught is nothing but ax dash plus by dash. Now take the terms of a on one side and b on another side. So a can be written as x dash minus x naught plus is equal to b into y naught minus of y dash. Okay, so take this one as the equation number 3. But here we have d is the GCD of AB, but as d is the GCD of two integers a and b, which implies d divides a and d divides b, which implies there exist relatively prime integers r and s, relatively prime integers r and s, such that a is nothing but dr and b is nothing but ds. Okay, these are the relatively prime integers. Since d divides a and d divides b, whatever will be the common in between r and s, they must be also cancelled. So d divides a and d divides b, which implies there must exist a and relatively prime integers r and s, such that a is equal to dr and b is equal to ds. Now just put that value of a and b in equation number 3. Put a and b in equation number 3, we get what should be a is equal to d into r into x dash minus x naught is equal to b is nothing but ds into y naught minus of y dash. This d is a set of d is a greatest common divisor. It means it is greater than 0. Just divide both sides by d. We get r into x dash minus x naught is equal to s into y naught minus of y dash. But this s into y naught minus y dash is a multiple of this integer r. Then by the definition of divisibility, r must divides s into y naught minus y dash, which is by the definition of divisibility. But here we have the integers r and s are relatively prime. It means GCD of r and s is equal to 1. Okay, so GCD of r and s is equal to 1 and r divides s into y naught minus y dash. Then by the Euclid's lemma. By Euclid's lemma. What is Euclid's lemma? Whenever A divides BC and A and B are relatively prime, then A must divides C. As R and S are relatively prime, which implies R divides y naught minus of y dash. Okay, so here we will get R divides y naught minus y dash. Then by the definition of divisibility, there exists an integer t such that this t can be the y naught minus y dash can be written as r into t. So y naught minus y dash is a multiple of r. Take this one as some equation number 4. Okay, so from this one, what should be the value of y dash then? Y dash is nothing but y naught minus of r into t. But what should be the value of r? Here a is equal to dr, then r is nothing but a upon d, and r is not equal to 0, which implies y naught minus a upon d into t, since a is equal to dr. Okay, so y dash is equal to y naught minus a upon d into t. This one is taken as some equation number 5. Okay, so here we will get the value of y dash. Now it remains to find out the value of x dash as a x naught plus b upon d into t. Now put y naught minus y dash is equal to r into t in equation number, which equation that one? That is this one equation. Star. Y naught minus y dash, this term as taken as a r into t. Equation star, we get r into x dash minus of x naught is equal to s into y naught minus y dash is r into t. This r get cancel. So x dash minus of x naught is equal to s into t. So x dash is nothing but x naught plus yes, as d is equal, b is equal to d into s. So what is the value of s here? B into d into t. Since b is equal to ds, so what is the value of s? B upon d. So here we will get x dash as x naught plus b upon d into t, and take this one as equation number 6. Now from 5 and 6 x dash is equal to x naught plus b upon d into an integer t, and y dash is equal to y naught minus of a upon d into t. So here we will get x dash and y dash in the form of x naught plus b upon d into t, and y dash is nothing but y naught minus a upon d into t. But we have to show that all the remaining solutions are in this form. It means this x dash and y dash will be the solution of given linear Diophantine equation ax plus by equal to c. That is we have to prove. Okay, so consider for that one, consider as x dash y dash will be the solution of ax plus by equal to c. It means that we have to show that ax dash plus by dash will be equal to c. So consider ax dash plus by dash is equal to, what should be the x dash? X naught plus b upon d into t, plus y dash b into y dash is y naught minus a upon d into t, which is equal to a into x naught plus b upon d into t into a plus by naught minus a into b divided by d into t. This abt divided by t, abt divided by t cancel, which is equal to ax naught plus by naught. But x naught y naught will be the some particular solution of given linear Diophantine equation. It means its value will be c. So here we will get ax dash plus by dash is equal to c. So the pair of integers x dash and y dash satisfies the given linear Diophantine equation. Therefore, x dash y dash satisfy the given linear Diophantine equation. Linear Diophantine equation. Diophantine equation. Okay, so thus there are infinite number of solutions of the given equation, one for each value of t. Since here x dash is nothing but x naught plus b upon d into t, y dash is nothing but y naught minus c upon d into t. Whenever we will change the value of t, since t is any arbitrary integer, so we will get one different solution of the given linear Diophantine equation. So there are, as t is an integer which is belonging to, sorry, t is an element which is belonging to set of integer, and set of integers contains infinite number of elements. Therefore there are infinite choices for the value of t. As there are infinite number of choices for the value of t, then the given linear Diophantine equation has infinite number of solution which is for each value of t. So it can be written as, thus there are infinite number of solutions, infinite number of solutions of the given equation, one for each value of t. Okay, and hence the proof. Yes, कुणाला काही डाऊट यामध्ये? असतील तर विचारू शकता. आहेत का? हो नाही, काही सांगू शकता का नाही तुम्ही? तुम्हाला काही डाऊट आहे का यामध्ये? एक्स नॉट वाय नॉट जर सोल्युशन असतील तर बाकीचे सोल्युशन या फॉर्म मध्ये असतील. यामध्ये एक्स डॅश वाय डॅशचे सोल्युशन होतील. आणखी एक्स डॅश काय असेल, एक्स नॉट प्लस बी अपॉन डी इंटू टी असेल. वाय डॅश हा माझा वाय नॉट मायनस ए अपॉन डी इंटू टी असेल. ठीक आहे, आवाज येतोय का माझा?
हो सर.
Okay, so now there is corollary depending on this theorem. If x naught y naught be one solution of ax plus by is equal to c, and GCD of AB is d, then the other solutions are in the form x dash as x naught minus b upon d into t, and y dash is nothing but y naught plus a upon d into t. That is we have to prove. So it's proved. Okay, so in previous theorem, whenever x naught y naught be the particular solution of ax plus by equal to c, where d is the GCD of AB, then all the other solutions are in the form of x dash is equal to x naught plus b upon d into t, and y dash is a y naught minus a upon d into t. But here we have to show that x dash has x naught minus b upon d into t, and y dash has y naught plus a upon d. Just we have to replace minus and plus. Okay, and this can be changed by using, we have to just replace t by minus t. Since t is any arbitrary integer, whenever we replace t by minus t in previous theorem, then we will get this one. By previous theorem, x dash is equal to x naught plus b upon d into t, and y dash is y naught minus a upon d into t. Just replace t by minus t, we get x dash is equal to x naught minus b upon d into t, and y dash is equal to y naught plus a upon d into t, and that is we have to put, hence the proof. Okay, now next corollary. Corollary 2. If x naught y naught be one solution of B1 solution of ax plus by is equal to c and GCD of AB is equal to 1, then the other solutions are in the form of x dash is equal to x naught plus bd and y dash is equal to y naught minus of, sorry, b into t, and y dash as y naught minus a into t. Okay, again here just we have to use the previous theorem. By previous theorem, x dash is x naught plus b upon d into t and y dash is y naught minus a upon d into t. But here we have GCD of AB is d and which is equal to 1 here. So value of d is 1. So put d equal to 1. We get x dash is nothing but x naught plus bt and y dash is nothing but y naught minus of 80. That is what we have to prove. Hence the proof. Okay, now the third corollary. If x naught y naught is one solution of ax plus by is equal to c and GCD of AB is equal to 1, then all the other solutions are in the form x dash is equal to x naught minus bt and y dash is equal to y naught plus 80. Okay, so we have to use the corollary number 2 for this result. So prove from corollary number 2 of the previous theorem. What should be the corollary number 2? X dash is equal to x naught plus bt and y dash is y naught minus of 80. Now just replace t by minus t. We get x dash is x naught minus of bt and y dash is y naught plus 80. That is we have to prove and hence the required result. Okay. Yes. In today's lecture up to now, any doubt? येस, कुठपर्यंत आलो होतो आपण? करोलरी 2 झाली होती का? येस, करोलरी 2 झाली होती का?
हो सर.
Okay. So corollary third is nothing but if x naught y naught is one solution of ax plus by equal to c and GCD of AB will be equal to 1, then all the other solutions are in the form of x dash is equal to x naught minus b into t and y dash is equal to y naught plus 80. But corollary 2 is nothing but when your x naught y naught be one solution of ax plus by equal to c and GCD of AB is 1, then all the remaining solutions are in the form of x dash is equal to x naught plus bt and y dash is equal to y naught minus 80. So here we have to just replace t by minus t in the corollary 2 for proof of corollary number 3. So we have replaced t by minus t in corollary 2. We get the required result. Okay. So up to now, any doubt?
No sir.
Okay.